Well, according to my analysis, the best place to put it is going to be, well, it's here.
I see it's good.
Belt, I mean, the place for the belt to reach. It doesn't bother at all. And I'm seeing now how to grab it. It must grip the block, so I considered using this little screw, if you can see it. Let's do it to the camera. The splice, okay, the carburetor grip with the intake manifold. Put a flat bar, like it's here. Well, back here we're going to realize that it's behind because the hose won't let me. But put it here, held by that screw, and here grab the compressor to this flat bar and another one that needs to be put on the side of the back. And well, then nothing else would have to do some grip down. It can also be through here. So that this does not vibrate, so that the compressor stays still. And I think with that we could leave it well fixed. I will also continue analysing, but I think in the end that is what I am going to do. This one here is going to be one of the supports for our compressor. I am going to use a number 5mm screw to grab each of the legs. And about here. And well, we still need to put the others right. It's just that I have to see where I'm going to grab them, which is the important thing, at least the... At least the first grip. As you can see, it didn't turn out very well because it moves, but well, when putting it more, that would have to reduce, and also it has to be placed in a way, well, horizontal, that clearly it is not, and align it well with the pulley. So I don't know well how I am going to do. I ran out of sheet. Without profiles, I don't know well what the name will be. So tomorrow, today is Sunday, I'm going to get more and I'm going to put the ones that are missing. I took off the belt and put it between the alternator and the air compressor to measure more or less the alignment they have. And at first glance, it would seem to be quite aligned. I mean, the last one can also be put on the back. Let's see. Also, I mean, because this one has two, so I think it's aligned. The best option for me would be to get one of these longer belts that I don't know if there will be or how it will be, and that goes through all three. I mean, like this going through all three. Or if not, add here another tiny plate and throw another belt up to here. So I'm gonna see what suits me best. Well, I just made this little piece that is going to fit here. It's going to fit on this screw that goes to the block. Shit, it's hot. And back here it's gonna grab the compressor or the slit the truth. It turned out pretty well. Let's grab it and see how much it improves. It's already grabbed on both sides and well aligned with the belt. The issue is that being high, it has a vibration. And that vibration, with the engine's vibration, it's going to repeat, it's going to be felt, it's going to break, etc., etc. Then we would have to pull it back and leave it grabbed in some way so that this doesn't vibrate. The thing is that I have the turbine behind and I mean, I can't grab anything. And I was looking at the blog and there's nothing to grab so that I can grab something from the back. Let's say there's the intake manifold and I have nothing left. So I'm going to keep investigating and I'm going to see where I could grab it. Something that occurred to me is to grab it from up here, like, let's say here. Between here and here. But what happens is that the engine, when it starts, when you turn it on, it vibrates. I mean, it moves. It does like a...
And then it stays still in place, so at that moment it moves.
Obviously, this is attached to the block. So this engine, the compressor is going to move with the engine, but the chassis is not going to move. So that's going to cause a failure, and something might break, and it could end badly. So I'm not going to grab it from the chassis. Look at this, it doesn't move anymore. I mean, it's fixed. Do you want to see how I did it? I grabbed it to the turbine with a zip tie. Check it out, zoom in faster. I grabbed it with a zip tie. I said, dude, I'm gonna put it for messing around. It turned out excellent. I mean, look, it doesn't move at all. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I'll leave it like this, right? Because it's just that, no, you look very good. Well, I don't know, I'm gonna leave it like this. For now, while I crack all the air conditioning line, hoses, that boom, that bam, while I get at the belt. Same now, the button can't be started because it lacks the distributor, it lacks everything. And when I start the engine like this, I started the celebrated and this, and I see that the compressor stays like this firm. Well, it stays like this, and it was already... So what's the worst that can happen that let the air run?
Before talking about air conditioning, I'm going to talk a little about the
Car air conditioning and common air conditioning systems share many technical features and components that allow them to effectively cool and condition the air. The difference between the air conditioning in your house and the air conditioning in your compressor, which is moved by Now, and it's the replacement for Nervios, which was its previous version, which I detested. They called me on Wednesday afternoon. The professor saw me like this, a pinel, it was within the line, and does what it was affected funny, it has burned the liquid, and each one gives a great ease to catch the heat, so in case it doesn't, the figure of the liquid heat. It's in very good condition. I have a state that cools the liquid. This is my radiator, which is a radiator from an old Falcon, I think. I don't remember, but I've had it for a long time. I've had it for a long time, but I'm unsure if it will be useful. The thought is incomplete. It'll be 100% useful. It's what I had, and if it doesn't work, I'll buy another. But first, we'll try with the one I have. This is my filter, and this is my evaporator. It's an evaporator from a Clio that already has its drain valve there, as you can see. I bought it on a free market at a very low price, so it has to work. This doesn't influence. Then, well, there are these two connections, which would be the ones that go to the compressor, which I don't have here, because I already put it in the van. Well, another thing I wanted to talk about are the unions. In the unions, the air conditioning hose is placed. Let me clarify, it's specifically for air conditioning, not just any hose, which is normally used in copper pipes in conventional air conditioners. But in cars, these hoses are used, which have the capacity for flexible access. As the car moves and this and that, the copper hose could end up breaking. Anyway, in this joint, a metal cap is placed, which is grabbed with a machine, with a flame engraver, and it is totally pressed, without any leak. The thing is, I didn't buy it because... So, now it's presented. Later I'm going to put washers. If this works well, I'm going to remove the entire line. If the air conditioning works well, I'm going to remove the entire line. I'm going to take all the machines to a workshop that has that machine so I don't have to buy it, and they can engrave all the terminals for me. So it's already finished. We're going to pass a rope through the walls, hopefully to be able to get the one I need and not have to make any more adaptations. So we're going to measure. And there we would have the belt. Then I'm gonna go to a house that sells belts, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna ask for one that is more or less like this. Big. And subscribe. Cold air would start to circulate from the back, and then it would turn on to the rest of the truck. Why don't we go with all the cars that have the air conditioning in front? Well, the cars that have the engine in front, so... The condenser is in the grill, which is the air that comes in, cools it down, and then the journey from the condenser to the cabin is nothing... 1 or 2 meters at most. On the other hand, we have a problem that we have the engine in the back and the condenser in the back. Then to take it forward would be about 5 meters. The Kombi has 4 meters, plus 1 of ascent more or less, would be 5 meters of day and 5 meters of return of pipe or whatever, besides being a terrible expense in materials. It is a huge waste of energy, because on the way there and back, the air the gas is delivering is losing efficiency, is delivering values, is delivering cold to the environment, so it makes no sense at all.
Back with more efficiency as the van is going to be...
If thermally, sooner or later in a few minutes, the cold air is going to be expended by another tool, and it's going to be the same, another option in the case of the air moving forward is simply to put the air out for sale and carry the cold air with a pipe to the front. You're also going to have a significant efficiency load, but at least the cold is always going to look inside. And besides, it's much cheaper in cost relation to carry the air than to carry the gas directly, pressurized to the front. Keep in mind that you always have to do what is most efficient, and we're going to... Scene, but it's going up, and I'm just tossed around by the fact of my competition with the hood. I'm starting to get wet, so I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to go up to where I did, and then I'm going to enter the assembly and operation, the commissioning, in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like the video, if you want to see more Kombi projects. Subscribe and stay tuned to the videos I'm going to upload, that are also going to be very interesting. See you in a few days, when I have finished installing the air. In the next video, bye.